significant milestone in the India-France strategic partnership, which has touched new heights, according to Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri. Prime Minister Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron reviewed bilateral ties in key areas such as defense, civil nuclear energy, and space. Israel-Hamas ceasefire on the brink of a collapse. Benjamin Netanyahu warns Hamas over delay in release of hostages. Trump, in the meanwhile, meets the King of Jordan and doubles down on his plan to take over Gaza. Volodymyr Zelensky proposes to trade land with Putin and offers to return Kursk. A significant prisoner swap between Russia and the United States has led to a thaw in their ties. The swap, which involved 26 individuals, including 16 detainees released by Russia and Belarus, and 8 detainees and 2 minors released by the US and its allies, marks a rare diplomatic breakthrough between the two nations. Well, in a symbolic show of camaraderie, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron travelled together from Paris to Marseille aboard the French presidential aircraft, setting the stage for a crucial round of talks. Their discussions spanned the full spectrum of the India-France strategic partnership, marking a milestone in a relationship that has evolved over 25 years, from defense and civil nuclear energy to space exploration and technology. The two leaders went over key issues, reaffirming their commitment to deepening bilateral ties. The outcome of the talks was nothing short of a blueprint for the future. The launch of the India-France Year of Innovation in 2026, a raft of agreements on AI, nuclear energy and sustainability, and a strengthened commitment to people-to-people relations. Furthermore, a new partnership has been forged on advanced modular reactors, while India's tech startups were offered a foothold at France's famed Station F incubator. Macron, in a gracious gesture, in the meanwhile, hosted Modi for a dinner and sealing the day's momentum and being invited by Prime Minister Modi to India. As the two leaders chart a course towards a brighter future, their relationship stands poised to go from strength to strength, a true partnership in the making.
The proposed hosting of the next AI summit by India and the designation of 2026 as the India-France Year of Innovation, our strategic partnership is entering into a new era focused on innovation, on science and on technology. The two countries have adopted a separate declaration on artificial intelligence, which identifies our key priorities in this area and explores the possibilities of cooperation.
Well, in order to understand the significance of Prime Minister Modi's visit to France, I am currently joined by Javed Ashraf, former ambassador of India in France, as well as Dr. Rajiv Nayan, nuclear expert from the Manohar Parrikar Institute of Defense Studies and Analysis. Mr. Ashraf, to you first. You know, the Foreign Secretary, Vikram Misri, he said that this visit has pushed India-France to new heights. How has this visit impacted the ties, and are we seeing a shift from focus on defense to now also on economic and trade ties?
Well, I think every visit takes a relationship to a new level. I think here, I would say that it was more in terms of the symbolism rather than an actual substance. And that has to be the case because the two leaders meet very often. India-France bilateral summits have become very regular. And I think that both in July 2023 and in January 2024, the focus was as much on technology, on economic partnership, on people-to-people tie, on cultural ties, on global challenges, as it was on defense ties. I think sometimes we tend to overemphasize those because they make for bolder news. But I'd like to say that, you know, France was the first country we started working with on even subjects like digital public infrastructure. It was a country where we first launched the UPI in January 2024. When I was there, we started also the India-France Digital Public Infrastructure Initiative, which is called Infrastructure, and the India-France Innovation and Information Technology. The year of innovation in 2026 was actually announced in January 2024. We have now unveiled the a logo for that. The India France CEO forum meetings have been taking place very regularly. And in fact, the cumulative FDI from France in India increased by 373% between 2015 and 2022, which is the highest for France in the Indo-Pacific region. Last year, we also announced that France would be a partner in the new National Museum, that Yugini, that we're going to build in South and North Block, which is a huge symbol of our partnership. I think it's a very comprehensive relationship. Today, I'd say that, the fact that the two leaders, the fact that Prime Minister co-chaired the AI summit, which places us at the center of the global discourse on AI. And it's a recognition, as France has always done that, about two countries with a great sense of strategic autonomy have an important role to play together in mobilizing the world behind certain global challenges and finding solutions, in bridging the gap between global south and the north. We've done that with International Solar Alliance in the past. We're now going to do that with artificial intelligence, which, as Prime Minister said, is going to define the code for the 21st century. And it isn't just about regulation, about ethics, about safety, about norms and standards and governance. It is also about how we utilize this opportunity to create a more inclusive future for the world. And that's, I think, an idea that the two leaders share. So in the world that is evolving today, in the context of the turbulence that you see in global affairs, the absolute evisceration of the international system that we are seeing, and it has become increasingly important for countries like India and France, with a sense of strategic autonomy, wedded to the idea of multipolarity, a deep belief in multilateralism and rule of law, to try to work together themselves and with others to create a more stable and balanced transition to perhaps a new international order, one which will be perhaps more open, inclusive, and democratic. And this is exactly what we want the AI-enabled or AI-driven future to be. So where you saw the evolution, I would say, because you'd seen similar gestures by Prime Minister when President Macron visited India, and the roadshow they had in Jaipur. And this time, the fact that it is unprecedented for the two leaders to travel together in the same aircraft, and then for President Macron to accompany Prime Minister of India on at least two events which were fundamentally Indian events. Once the inauguration of the consulate, and I'm so glad that it has happened, because over the last 2 years we worked very, very hard to make this a reality for a very important strategic city, and also because of the the wreath laying at Mazag, which has homes to the remains of 1,003 Indian soldiers. It's one of the largest of the 163 cemeteries where the remains or the names remains are interred, or the names of the Indian soldiers are inscribed. And it is a mark of respect, but also a sign of solidarity between our two countries.
Absolutely. In fact, speaking about nuclear cooperation, Mr. Rajiv Nayan, what are the implications here, especially for the global nuclear energy landscape? Could we expect greater collaboration now?
Like as Mr. Javed Ashraf rightly pointed out, this relationship is quite comprehensive. And in fact, it is, as you pointed out, for the last 25 years, we have been just proceeding with so many high tech areas. And nuclear especially, generally we call France the time-tested from the Western countries. Generally, what we find that Western countries are not considered very reliable. Second thing is, France nuclear industry, or France nuclear science and technology, is quite advanced in comparison to many of the European countries. In fact, once it was involved in building reactors in even United Kingdom. So that was the level, but it struggled. That is the issue. We already had an agreement. In fact, very interestingly, when we had the clean exemptions from nuclear suppliers group in 2008, the first country our government chose or opted for was France. And we had an agreement with France. And Jaitapur, we have got 6 reactors to be built, 1650 megawatt reactor, very ambitious plan. So again, we have got very ambitious roadmap for nuclear energy or you can say nuclear electricity program, and we are planning to have 100 gigawatt by 2047, and somehow France figures there. So what now we have noticed in the joint statement and during the Prime Minister visit is involvement of even startups, private parties in small modular reactors, advanced modular reactors. These are new types or new modes of electricity generation in the nuclear realm, which we
Right.
have been putting forward or we have been proposing to not only to the world but also to our own companies. And in the last two budgets, you'll find that a great deal of funding has been allocated to build this kind of reactor. This reactor is being debated worldwide. It has got promises. It has all the small modular reactors, but these have got challenges also. Challenging relating to its safety, challenges relating to its security, challenges related to the cost of safety and security. Let me put it in this way. But what we have also noticed in the joint statement is that the two countries, France and India, have decided to work on the safety and security element also.
Yeah.
And we have got GCNEP, and France has got its own organizations. So both are also planning to work together. So
All
in
right.
true sense, it is becoming comprehensive, and even in the nuclear realm, not only in the relationship or strategic partnership, but in almost all the traditionally constructed reactors have also have also been agreed upon earlier, and now we are also planning to have partnership in a small modular reactor or advanced modular reactors. Means modular reactors, which can be simply put, which can be assembled nicely and it can be quickly like constructed, and it could be useful for a smaller grid.
Right.
But although we have got a smaller 200 megawatt reactor, 100 megawatt reactor capacity, that can also be used, but it could be a good mix also. So
All right.
that's there.
Gentlemen, we are running short of time at the moment. Thank you very much for giving us your views. We'll slip into a very short break. We'll be back with more.
Our first year as a family flew by, and now
I want to make sure he'll be financially protected for all his birthdays to come.
that's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Just like families, not all life insurance is the same. That's why we offer the Smart Family Guarantee. We guarantee a straightforward application process, award-winning service you can trust, and cover from day one. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
This baby bear is terrified. Torn from her mother's paws at a tender age. They will force her to live alone in a tiny, filthy cage, like so many bears driven mad by loneliness, rubbing their wounds raw against the bars, suffering cruelly day after day, year after year, just for people's entertainment. Four Paws found little Potap crammed into a tiny, squalid cage. He'd been there for almost 9 years, lonely and isolated. There are so many more young bears who need your help. Please call 0800 038 0496 or text BEAR5 to 70800 to give £3 a month via your mobile phone. Every month, your £3 could help us free more bears. Help give bears the veterinary care they need and help them live happy, healthy lives in the freedom of our natural sanctuaries. Please call 0800 038 0496 or text BEAR5 to 70800 to give £3 a month via your mobile phone and help Four Paws free bears from agonising torture. Please, don't leave these bears to suffer for a single day more.
With retirement round the corner, I want to spend more time with my family, which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
When I woke up, they said, Alyssa, you've got leukemia. We found out that the chemo wasn't working.
Cancer is still the biggest killer of children in the UK, but innovative new treatments could help beat cancer for more children like Alyssa.
I'm cancer-free now.
Text, call or search to give £3 a month and help build a new children's cancer centre at Great Ormond Street Hospital. So together we can save more lives.
लोगों से अवार्ड लेता रहूं so
Welcome back. In a tense, high-stakes announcement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared that the ceasefire with Hamas would end if the militant group fails to release hostages by midday Saturday. Netanyahu warned of intense fighting resuming if the hostages were not returned, citing the backing of US President Donald Trump's demand for the deadline. However, Hamas, citing alleged Israeli violations, indicated a delay in the release, claiming that Israel was responsible for the truce's complications. In the midst of this entire crisis, in Washington, Trump praised Jordan's King Abdullah for agreeing to take in 2,006 children from Gaza, a token gesture in line with Trump's broader plan to relocate Palestinians from Gaza to neighboring countries, a plan that has been rejected by both Jordan and Egypt, who view it as a threat to regional security. As Egypt and Jordan seek alternatives, Trump's confidence in his proposal remains unshaken. The clock is ticking towards the Saturday deadline, and the world watches as the fate of hundreds of hostages and the future of Gaza hangs in the balance. And to understand the consequences of what exactly is happening at the moment, I'm currently joined by Qamar Agha, West Asia expert. Mr. Agha, welcome to NDTV. You know, there is a fear that the ceasefire agreement can collapse amid this entire development. How are you looking at it at the moment, and what is your assessment?
At the moment, it looks, the war would resume. Netanyahu is under pressure from far-right groups within his coalition. They are pressurizing Netanyahu to resume fighting. Especially, Ben Gavir, who was earlier Minister of National Security, and Basil Smotrich, who is now Finance Minister, both, plus other hardliners, they want war to resume. They want Gaza to be vacated by the Palestinians. They want Greater Israel. So, they say that the war has, that the Netanyahu believes, also, that major achievement or major goals of the war have not yet been achieved, because Hamas is still a strong. Large number of people have joined Hamas also. So most likely it looks, by Saturday, if Hamas refuses to surrender these militants, Israel might start
Mr. Agha,
bombing.
Mr. Agha, many would say that Israel is looking for reasons that this agreement becomes null and void so that they can continue their military operation.
Of course, because its objective is to get rid of the... Gaza has become unlivable. People, can't live in that territory. This is what the Americans are also saying.
Yeah.
So, but they don't want to leave that place. They say that this is our ancestor place. They are buried here. We don't want to leave here. We have been living here for hundreds of years, and so we are not going to go anywhere. So that is the problem, So it looks, the ethnic cleansing is not acceptable to others also, other states also. Secondly, the Arab-Israeli conflict, or this Gaza conflict, has promoted Arab nationalism. That is another problem, because the Egypt, Jordan, the people in these two countries, plus in other countries also, more than 90% Arab, are supporting Gaza. They are pressurizing pro-American regimes that they should do more. They should come out openly in support of Gaza. They should help Hamas. So that is the situation. So if the people are expelled, I believe, this will create problem in the region, particularly in Egypt and Jordan. That's why Egypt is deploying its troops at the border. So that is another problem, How are they going to talk time? I think, the thing is that Americans should resume negotiation with Egypt, but Egypt is refusing to talk to him. Egypt have cancelled its visit to Washington. But by force, you cannot bulldoze. You cannot force people to go out this will create more problem for the existing regimes in the Arab world, particularly Egypt and Jordan. These two regimes, the possibility is that these forces of destabilization might emerge or destabilize these places, because these regimes are not very popular. We have seen in 2011, mass uprising took place in Egypt. People wanted a civilian government, but again, civilian government was dismissed and army staged a coup and army came back into power. Jordan is also having a lot of problem, economic problem and other thing. But on the other hand, also, it is also important to note both these regimes are dependent on America for economic and security reasons.
Absolutely,
so this
sir.
is another problem.
In fact, we understand Donald Trump's stand on this entire situation at the moment. What I want to understand from you is what role can international leaders, especially the Arab leaders, play in ensuring that this situation doesn't escalate at the moment?
So they are talking to different people, to the Europeans and Americans. They have passed resolutions. Arabs are powerless. They don't have fighting force. They don't have leverage over America. They themselves, most of the Arab regimes, including the rich ones, like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Dubai, all these states, they are dependent on America for security. So they have very limited option. They can only talk. They can only impress American Donald Trump not to do this thing. But the President Trump is not listening to their demands. He is hell bent. He wants Gaza to be vacated. He wants to make the region, the strip as a Riviera of Middle East. He call it. And in fact, the Israeli government have once mentioned, Netanyahu has said that it would be like Dubai, and once the Dubai-like structure emerges there, so all the American investment, all the other countries' European countries' investment in Dubai will shift to Israel.
Correct.
So that is another. Then second thing, Gaza on the shore side, there's a big deposit of oil and gas. So Israel want to exploit that also, because they're promising to shift to pump those oil and gas to Western European countries. So a lot of problems, a lot of things, you can't bulldoze, you can't have these sort of policy, that people should be expelled from one place, ethnic cleansing, settle them into other places. Pressure on Egypt is that they should build a new city for these expelled Palestinians in Sinai.
Right. In fact, Mr. Gaza, what are the potential long-term effects of this entire crisis, especially on the regional security and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? We'll have to wait and watch. Thank you very much for speaking to us and giving us your views. And in a stunning shift, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky declared his willingness to negotiate land exchanges with Russia, a major concession after nearly 2 years of resistance. Speaking to The Guardian, Zelensky signaled Ukraine's readiness to trade seized Russian territory like Kursk for peace, marking a pivotal moment ahead of his anticipated meeting with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance at the Munich Security Conference. Now, despite this, Zelensky emphasized that any security guarantees for Ukraine must involve the United States, warning that European assurances alone would not suffice. And in fact, my colleague Mohammad Ghazali joins us to get us more on this. Ghazali, what are the implications here that we are looking at?
See, two significant points coming out of this statement. One, that what Mr. Trump had been saying, that perhaps Ukraine is also running out of his steam in this war. And that is why Zelensky, who has always been blaming Russia for stretching this war, has somewhere realized that perhaps US had been, the new administration had also been pushing him for polls in Ukraine, for which the survey results doesn't show any kind of favorable results for Mr. Zelensky. And that is why it appears now that he's also looking for a ceasefire kind of arrangement by intervention of United States. Meanwhile, he has also been hearing these inputs from United States that how Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin had telephonic conversation. Today, there has been a kind of a prisoner swap thing happening between US and Russia. Russia has released one American citizen. US is also contemplating sort of releasing one Russian citizen. So the things are moving very fast when it comes to Russia and Ukraine's conflict, and US being a superpower who can influence or bring these two parties on table. And that is why it appears now that Mr. Zelensky is also looking for that kind of arrangement through which he may not have to face further humiliation, because Mr. Trump and his people in his administration have been very critical of US aid to Ukraine in this war. And J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, has also been very critical that why should US keep pushing aid towards Ukraine when we are not getting any desired result for that. So that is why Mr. Zelensky is now playing all his cards. One, that he is offering that a land swap or a region swap with Russia can bring a halt to this war, as well as he can sense the mood or the what you could say, the inclination of the new administration, and that is why he's also asking for further US guarantees to Ukraine.
Absolutely. Mohammad Ghazali, thank you very much for getting us all the details. And the Jeffrey Epstein client list has been a topic of much speculation and intrigue. Recently, a new task force led by Anna Paulina Luna, a member of the Congress appointed by President Trump, announced plans to declassify federal secrets, including files related to Epstein's case. However, it's essential to note that the released documents might not contain an explicit client list, as many believe. According to reports, the unsealed documents are part of a defamation lawsuit which was filed by one of Epstein's accusers against Maxwell, Epstein's ex-partner and ex-business partner. Time now for a very short break. More on the other side.
Time's up, fad diets. Life's too short to just eat cabbage soup. With its combination of medication, digital tracking and coaching, join the weight loss revolution with Voi.
I urgently need to ask for your help on behalf of animals at risk right now. With the pandemic came a surge in pet ownership. And sadly, we're now seeing a serious rise in neglect, cruelty and abuse. Our services are being stretched to the limit. To make matters worse, our costs are soaring too. But we refuse to let animals suffer. So please, act now to help rescue the growing number of animals who've never needed us more. Please call or text the number on screen now to give £2 a month to the RSPCA. In one of the toughest times we have ever experienced, your gift will make all the difference to animals. You could help provide more life-saving treatment, food, shelter, and the loving care that many have never known. We know there are millions of you who, like us, care deeply and won't stand by while animals are suffering. We have to reach those trapped in a life of abuse and neglect before it's too late. Because for many, the RSPCA is their only hope. But we can only come to the rescue with the support of people like you. So please, will you help us be there no matter what? Call 0800 313 4392 or text RSPCA to 78866 to start your monthly gift today. Thank you.
With Post Office Over 50s life cover, enjoy peace of mind knowing your family will receive a guaranteed payout when you're gone. UK resident 50 to 80, your guaranteed acceptance. No health checks and free 24/7 GP access with the health and wellbeing benefit. Purchase and receive a £125 gift card. Plus, get an extra £30 winter warmer cashback. Call Post Office on 0800 328 6666.
Love a good deal? Try free to play Deal or No Deal, only at Tombola. There's up to £1,000 to be won. Get that good deal feeling. Open for fun.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora, we cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
Welcome back. Following his engagements in France, Prime Minister Modi is set to proceed to the United States at the invitation of President Donald Trump to further strengthen India's global partnerships, with a particular focus on technology, defense and economic cooperation. The two leaders are expected to discuss a range of strategic issues, including trade policies, defense cooperation and global security challenges. In fact, and it is expected to propose tariff cuts and increased energy and defense imports during a meeting with the United States President. The Prime Minister is keen to avert a potential trade war and boost trade ties after President Trump threatened reciprocal tariffs on many countries. So, significant visit there by the Prime Minister of India to United States. This is going to be the first Modi-Trump meeting in the United States, especially after President Trump's inauguration. This entire bonhomie will face the test between Trump and Prime Minister Modi. Trade, defense, energy these sectors are going to be in focus for this high-stakes talks. US President Donald Trump will be meeting with the Indian Prime Minister Modi. And in fact, Alistair D'Souza joins us from Washington to get us more on this. Alistair, just get us the significance of this entire visit by the Indian Prime Minister, especially for India as well as the United States.
Absolutely significant. One telling point here is the fact that Prime Minister Modi is just the fourth leader to meet President Trump since he was inaugurated less than a month ago. And of course, several issues going to be on the table there between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi. One of them, key issues, is going to be trade, of course. President Trump, as we know, doesn't like his big irritant has constantly been the trade deficit. So that's definitely going to be one of the issues that's going to come up between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump. As you know, India's trade deficit, or the US trade deficit with India, stands at $45 billion. What does that really mean? Well, a trade deficit happens when a country begins to import more than it exports. So in this case, the irritant being that the United States is actually getting in from India, or rather buying more from India than actually selling to India. Now, one must remember that Prime Minister Modi has come here or will be here in Washington well armed, so to speak, in order to make sure that he convinces President Trump that he is definitely going to listen. He is already listening. He's talked about, and we've seen in the recent budget, sweeteners that India has offered in terms of trade duties or tariffs that India imposes on US goods being reduced, whether it's on heavy-duty motorcycles or cars or smartphones as well, benefiting American companies such as Harley-Davidson, Apple, or Tesla, for that matter. So Prime Minister Modi really coming here with, in a way, a strategic move, telling Donald Trump that we are listening to you, we have listened to you, look at what we've done, and we're also going to do more. As far as what that more may be, it will also be looking at what it can do to buy more from the United States in terms of energy deals and also defense deals.
Right. In fact, there are also going to be a lot of other issues that are going to be discussed in those meetings, including the issue of how illegal Indian migrants are being deported from there. Alistair, thank you very much for getting us all the vital details. Time now for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Doing the right thing should be faff-free. So we've made doing your bit a little bit easier. Introducing new John West Eco Twist. Simply twist, enjoy and recycle. New John West Eco Twist. Fully recyclable, fully faff-free.
With retirement round the corner, I want to spend more time with my family and less time worrying about the numbers. Which reminds me,
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
And that money could help with funeral costs, or even as a gift for the grandkids. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
You got them all right. That's amazing.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team on 0800 977 5808 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Our first year as a family flew by. And now, I want to make sure he'll be financially protected for all his birthdays to come. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, how can I help?
Hi, I'd like a quick quote for family life insurance.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age.
That's great.
If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And could help my wife pay off the mortgage.
And with our Smart Family Guarantee, you'll have peace of mind.
That's good to know.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cashback on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0808 141 5855 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
What are you so happy about?
I've just made a claim. We could be owed thousands.
My claim group?
Yeah, the cars we've bought on finance, well, the lenders could have charged hidden commissions. It's dead simple to claim.
Hey, I had 2 cars before we met.
Go to My Claim Group. You could be owed thousands in hidden commissions from cars you bought on finance since 2007, even if you can't remember the details.
Done.
Simple, eh?
Go to My Claim Group now.
Claims made simple.
Play the Great Big Lottery and you can help make more wins happen at Great Ormond Street Hospital. Like bringing fun to Rajveer's ward, discovering new treatments and helping children go home sooner. Just call 0800 472 5774 or search Gosh Lottery to start playing for just £1. There's up to £10,000 up for grabs in our annual Super Draw, plus a £1,000 jackpot every week. And many more great cash prizes. So call or go online now for a chance to win big prizes and make more wins happen.
Hours ahead of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the United States, his first one in the second Trump era, I am joined by a very well-informed panel right outside the White House. And let me begin by asking somebody, Catherine, how do you see this? How do you see this visit? What, according to you, is the significance of this visit? Not
substance, but what the significance?
Yeah, not so much in the sense that, of course, he's amongst the first few world leaders who are coming to the state's capital in the Trump 2 era. But other than that, as a long-term observer, what do you think is the significance of this visit?
Well, I think the significance is it's a continuation of the stronger U.S.-India relationship that we've been seeing over the past several administrations. It's supported by both parties in the United States, which in this day and age is pretty amazing. And that's because a lot of the outside world hasn't really changed. We still have the threat of China's malign behavior. We still have the need to find answers to energy, health issues. So I do see that the cooperation will continue. And of course, you have the strong personal bond that you cited between these two leaders, which is very obvious.
And do you think that those personal bonds at some time, at least at the apex level, do help in getting over thorny issues like currently one we are facing in the relationship?
I think they do help. I would say that because we're democracies, the views of the public also will matter. And so at this point, as you cited again, the people-to-people relationship is very strong and important, but that doesn't mean that there's no risk to that relationship through issues like migrants and visas.
And Mr. Vickery, what do you think, how much at this point in time? Look, the Trump administration is taking shape. They've just come into power. Realistically speaking, realistically thinking, how much do you think, India should be expecting on large concern areas right from the beginning?
Well, I think that this is a very important meeting because of the turmoil which has been caused by the Trump administration coming in. And it's very important, and in spite of all the noise, that the partnership be seen as the strongest possible between India and the United States. These two great democracies are absolutely essential on any issue of importance to the world. Now, President Trump is a guy who wants to make a deal, and he wants to see that the United States is able to sell more, and he's looking for something to use with tariffs as a leverage in that regard. I think that the defense procurement will be important. And then, of course, energy. I'm particularly interested as to whether or not there'll be some talk about the civil nuclear deal and the actual fruition of that, because it's absolutely essential that these two great democracies be able to cooperate not just on oil and gas, as the president has indicated, but across the board. So it's a very important time, and we're pleased that Prime Minister Modi is here and that he is among the very first to meet with the new administration.
Kathleen, you said that it doesn't mean that the risk does not remain. What are the risks that you see?
Well, there's always a risk. I mean, we know that there's a risk that there'll be tariffs and retaliatory tariffs. In my experience, because that happened during Trump that doesn't tend to impact the whole relationship. We still manage to cooperate in a whole range of different areas, including things like health, education, energy. So I would anticipate all that should continue the same way. Part of that's because India can always retaliate against a tariff. And
no one would want retaliation right in the beginning, to begin with.
But it could happen. I have a feeling it won't happen at this meeting. An accommodation will be made for purchases of oil, let's say, or defense equipment. But in any case, it could happen. I think there is a risk, though, of both leaders kind of overestimating the goodwill of people when it comes to people-to-people ties, meaning that with illegal migration, the numbers we're seeing, the Indian government has stressed, and notably the opposition has stressed, it's the right of the United States to enforce its borders, which it certainly is, which India does. But I don't know that people have really taken stock of the total numbers. There may be as many as 7.25 lakh undocumented Indians in the United States. So how both leaders deal with that and deportations related to ever greater numbers is going to be pivotal. And
India has very clearly said that deportations is not an issue as long as we verify the illegal migrants, but the treatment surely would remain an issue.
I'm sure that is going to be raised today. I guess the point I'm trying to make is these things can spin and become political issues. I can give you an example. When I was Consul General in Hyderabad, there was a case of students who were deported, who our government said knew that they weren't real students. They were attending what my government said were sham universities, but the local people around Hyderabad felt that they had been duped, that they were innocent. And so that kind of thing can matter over time. That put a lot of pressure on the local pro-United States government. So what you want to do is avoid that kind of thing happening on a bigger scale.
Ms. Soni, Anju, yeah, what do you think? The whole sense of the relationship at this point in time it is, and how do you think how do you think things will pan from here on?
Okay.
See, as you see, India is the largest democracy and USA is the oldest democracy, and people are at the center of these two democracies. And I will speak on people's perspective here. And personally, I see this whole world as one house or one family. You know, as Modi ji says, everybody in India believes in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So this is the whole family, and the leaders, they represent the different nations, interests of nations. Narendra Modi represents India first. Trump represents Make America Great Again. That's how China leadership represents. France represents their interest. And it's like all brothers in the house, talking, negotiating, and maintaining the world peace on this global stage, and still thinking the best, what is best for their land, for their people. So I think this visit will be building on the first term, which Prime Minister Modi had with Donald Trump during his 45th presidency. And this is like more of like welcoming the big brother back to the house, you know, congratulating him on his presidency. And they share a great bond, and this meeting will be building on that. And this building, definitely, they are tough leaders, tough negotiators, and each will try to negotiate for their part. And I think the big brother in the house, I would call Donald Trump, he understands, because this is a bigger economy, like 27 trillion economy. India is a 4 trillion economy. And, you know, the one who is bigger, I would suggest him to be more generous towards the other brother. And it's kind of like keeping each other's values in mind, interest in mind, respecting each other, and try to negotiate for the betterment of their own country and people.
Mr. Soni, what do you think, other than the fact that, of course, there are real issues of people to people, and there are challenges of illegal migration or even tariff, etc. But what do you think where the real progress can be made?
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मेरा सत श्री अकाल नमस्ते टू NDTV दर्शकों ਨੂੰ ਔਰ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿ NDTV ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ we have to discuss our Modi ji's visit, very important visit. At this time, President Trump has been elected on certain agenda, and he's trying to, since he took office, by executive order, he's trying to take all the action necessary, what he promised to America, that he's going to do that. But that also, there are a lot of issues, there is a lot of things on the platter for Modi ji also, and Mr. Trump also, to solve this, trade issues, immigration issues, so many other issues are on the platter. So I believe both leaders are ready to solve that, and it can be solved. It's not that any country is adamant or that we are not going to back out. Yes, there is a give and take, and hopefully both the countries can work out on the trade, immigration. And recently some migrant has been sent back to India. Well, India never refused to take them back. But all he wants is to send them respectably, and so that they can be home with their loved ones. And whatever has happened is happened. On the trade issue, I think both countries have a deficit issue. America is running deficit, India is running deficit. So I think there is some give and take on that, and it can be worked out. That's all I believe.
It can be, yeah.
See, the illegal immigration point is always coming up, that India deported the illegal immigrants. So I would say
America deported the
illegal immigrants. That's what I want to see, like India deporting the illegal immigrants. That's what I wanted to say. Like, India should learn from President Trump. Securing his country, that's what Prime Minister Modi can learn, and take tough decisions in securing Indian borders and Indian country. The way the people who were deported...
But that is our challenge. We do not wish that kind of treatment given out to the fellow...
No. Before going to the treatment, those fellow human beings, though they are from my own country, and I have great love and respect for them, they did not respect the law of the land. So they were here illegally. And I would say those who are illegally in India should be meted with the same treatment, should be sent out, and Prime Minister Modi can learn from President Trump.
A radical view there, radical view. We do not, the country's policies do not allow for that, so we will restrict it to that where the law allows. Young man, what's your take on the Prime Minister's visit? Amongst the first few very important and critical visits to the new Trump administration.
Yeah, Nikunj, I think both sides are going to be looking for quick and early wins at this stage. And, we see 3 or 4 different areas where that can happen. One, President Trump is trying to ramp up energy production in the US. And, Indian companies are also looking to execute long-term LNG contracts. So that can be an area where announcements can be made. Secondly, defense and arms sales is an area where we can see progress. And then coming to also the fact that, there are companies that are looking to invest in India. We saw in the previous administration, there was announcement of strategic tech cooperation, semiconductor companies investing in India, even though IRA was happening here. So India would be looking to, continue that momentum as well. It's a cold day in Washington, but hopefully the diplomatic ties will continue to remain warm and we'll see strategic tech cooperation moving forward. But in addition to that, India also looking to buy, maybe energy and more defense from the US in exchange of strategic tech. Is how we are looking at it. And, we mentioned immigration as well. Of course, large diaspora here in the US, they may be living on American soil, but the roots are in India. And so that's the connective tissue between the two countries. And, at least for the priority sectors, strategic tech sectors where America needs human resource, high-skilled human resource, how they can expedite, issuance of visas, shorten wait times for interviews for at least the corporate talent that America needs is also an issue. So trade, tech, talent, I think that's on the agenda. Yeah.
What do you think, sir? What is your sense? One thing that always comes to the fore is when we discuss India-US relationship. Obviously, when the Prime Minister comes, expectations are bound to rise. He's an extremely popular leader, and Mr. Trump has got a very resounding mandate this time. But irrespective of that, India-US relationship has always been in a very positive trajectory. And what do you think, what can take it to the next level, what can raise it to a level where it becomes the showpiece, the marquee of relationship, at least between the democracies?
Yes, the trajectory has been very good. And with this Prime Minister Modi and President Trump, with decisive actions and willingness to do things, that will be the game changer. Whether it will be real trade relationships, and U.S. has running very, very high trade deficits, and India can understand the problems. U.S. is very tough position in not paying even Social Security in the next 10 years if the trade deficit runs. So from that point of view, what President Trump is doing is very understandable. I think it has to be done a little bit more smoothly. But from India point of view, India has very complementary strengths. The huge human resources and production, U.S. can leverage the Make in India or combined production of defense equipment. This is the only way we can beat China and other aggressive powers. And the two democracies can leverage each other, and that's the way to go. And with strong people, leaders on the helm, I think that can happen, and it will be very good to the world.
My final question to you, Mr. Soni. Tell me something that when it comes to migration, a large part of the migration world over will always remain questionable. And President Trump has said that, we need talent, and therefore we need talent, and therefore we would get best quality people into this country, but there is no scope for any illegal migration. How do you think that can be made clear to the people, and the people who are into this business, like, the human traffickers, etc., etc.? How can that be curbed in the beginning itself so that it doesn't become a thorny issue as far as the relationship between these two very important democracies is concerned?
Illegal immigration, lot of people, travel agents, visa makers, giving the false letters, asylum issues. There are so many issues involved in illegal immigration that those people sell their property, 50 lakhs, 1 crore, they pay to the dealers, they pay to the agents, they pay to the lawyers who file the papers. So a lot of people's income depends on them. And they were taking advantage of that. And those people used to sell their land and houses. And look at the parents, they are waiting there, sell their property and sell their children here. And at last, illegal is illegal, whether it's from the South American countries or whether from our country. So I think that how much India can do that to stop them, it was very difficult. It depends on the personal household issues for the better life. They want to jump out the fence. They go through 6 months, 1 year, walking in the jungle, donkey route they call it. It is very disheartening,
You think that this kind of tough action can probably put an end to this kind of human suffering? See, at the end of the day, it is human suffering, right?
At the end of the day, it's a human suffering. This kind of action by President Trump will send the clear message that you can come here legally, but don't even try to come illegal way, and then I have to send you back. And look at how much they felt humiliated that when the military plane landed there with the handcuffs and all that. The relations, the people, the rishtedars, everybody knows that how they have come. They didn't steal anything, but they were illegal. And they broke the law of United States, and probably they broke the law of India too by jumping out.
Thank you, Mr. Soni. Lady wants to make a point, please.
I would like to add on that, as America requires skilled labor, like skilled workers or more skill and talent from India, then it should make the H-1B process easier, their stay over here easier, and if they want to transition to be permanent residents or contributing further to the economy, provide them their spouses the ability to work, like not for short term, but forever they want. So they have to simplify the process of coming in here, the talent, respect the talent, value the talent, and that's how they can retain the talent. And obviously for illegal immigration, tough actions as were taken will give a clear message to the entire world. Yes, respect the law of the land, and legally you are more than welcome. Come here, contribute to the economy, contribute to the culture, contribute to the diversity. That's what America stands for, but don't take us for granted.
So very distinguished panel there with me, right from outside the Washington White House, the seat of the power in Washington, and making some very forceful points like that: respect the talent, respect the processes. That's the message to both the sides. To one side, it's respect the processes; other side, respect the talent, and show enough flexibility as mature democracies should. This is Nikunj Garg reporting from Washington, D.C. for NDTV.
I urgently need to ask for your help on behalf of animals at risk right now. With the pandemic came a surge in pet ownership. And sadly, we're now seeing a serious rise in neglect, cruelty, and abuse. Our services are being stretched to the limit. To make matters worse, our costs are soaring too. But we refuse to let animals suffer. So please, act now to help rescue the growing number of animals who've never needed us more. Please call or text the number on screen now to give £2 a month to the RSPCA. In one of the toughest times we have ever experienced, your gift will make all the difference to animals. You could help provide more life-saving treatment, food, shelter, and the loving care that many have never known. We know there are millions of you who, like us, care deeply and won't stand by while animals are suffering. We have to reach those trapped in a life of abuse and neglect before it's too late. Because for many, the RSPCA is their only hope. But we can only come to the rescue with the support of people like you. So please, will you help us be there no matter what? Call 0800 313 4392 or text RSPCA to 78866 to start your monthly gift today. Thank you.
Our first year as a family flew by. And now, I want to make sure he'll be financially protected for all his birthdays to come. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, how can I help?
Hi, I'd like a quick quote for family life insurance.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age.
That's great.
If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And could help my wife pay off the mortgage.
And with our Smart Family Guarantee, you'll have peace of mind.
That's good to know.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cashback on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0808 141 5855 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
When I woke up, they said, Alyssa, you've got leukemia. We found out that the chemo wasn't working.
Cancer is still the biggest killer of children in the UK, but innovative new treatments could help beat cancer for more children like Alyssa.
I'm cancer-free now.
Text, call or search to give £3 a month and help build a new children's cancer centre at Great Ormond Street Hospital. So together, we can save more lives.
From their private paths. It comes as a reminder of the difficult realities on our college campuses. Uma Sudhir with the details.
5 students at Kottayam's Government Nursing College have been arrested and sent to 2 days in police custody after a shocking case of ragging was reported to the police. The third-year students are said to have subjected at least 6 first-year students to abuse, humiliation, torture and threats for nearly 3 months from November last year. The students have reported that they were stripped naked and dumbbells were hung from their private parts. Injuries were inflicted with a compass on their body and lotion was applied on it. They were reportedly videographed consuming alcohol, and that was used to threaten and blackmail them to pay for the liquor meant for seniors. It was only on Monday when one of the first-year students was unable to pay money to the seniors for liquor and was badly beaten up that he informed his parents, who advised the students to complain to the police. The college authorities were apparently unaware of the goings-on in the hostel. Less than 2 weeks ago, a mother of a teenager in Kochi had alleged that her son had jumped off the 26th floor of their building after he was subjected to inhumane bullying by his classmates. Last year, 20-year-old J.S. Siddharthan was found dead at his hostel in Wayanad's Veterinary and Animal Sciences University after being brutally beaten by his seniors for daring to dance with senior girl students on Valentine's Day. While a more stringent institutional and legal framework is needed to curb the menace of ragging and bullying, what is even more worrying is the seeming normalization of deviant behavior by youngsters, like seen in the recent case of Ranveer Allahabadia and Samay Raina. With inputs from Kerala and camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
It's not a one-off case. Recently, a teenager died by suicide in Kochi, allegedly after he was forced to lick a toilet seat in the name of ragging. Despite years of awareness campaigns and police action, it remains a reality we need to contend with from multiple dimensions: psychological, law and order, and safety for vulnerable and neurodiverse students on campuses. Only getting worse. Joining me this evening, Atulya Jayanand, the student leader from Kozhikode, Anand Kochukudi, senior journalist from Kerala, former police officer Sanjay Sahai, and psychologist Aruba Kabir. Aruba, if I may begin with you, there is a large psychological aspect that Uma Sudhir pointed to in her report, a sense of this is okay among students to, to put ragging on their juniors, to rag their juniors with dire consequences in some cases. It is a difficult issue that first needs to be addressed at a psychological level with kids, is it not?
I guess it is getting, very normal in schools or in colleges to rag their juniors because somehow they have gone through it. It may not be in school, it may be maybe in there when they are playing games in their society or at home they have seen certain things, or maybe just the TV, the kind of series we see, the kind of movies we watch, and we also want to do those heroic acts, and we go and we also do it. But if we see what is behind it, it's mostly the emotional imbalance, instability we encounter, we come across when we are seeing clients, and especially teenagers. They have a lot of emotional imbalance happening, instability happening, and they take it out on, their peers or maybe juniors.
Atulya, teenagers taking it out, what is the student community doing to avert such cases of ragging? Is this a reality, on campuses, especially in some government college campuses? Or is it a reality across the board? As a student leader, what's your role in fighting it? Atulya Jayanand.
Yes, sir. Okay.
What's your role in fighting it?
So, our NSUI KSU district president from Kottayam district has already had a meeting with the principal in charge, and we demanded to dismiss this, those who are involved in this case. We demanded them to dismiss this students as soon as possible. And first of all, I am extending my support to the victims too. And we are in constant battle of fighting the ragging issues in our colleges, college campuses, and also I think these are very much linked to the drug abuse that the students are in very much proud to be in this drug and alcohol itself. So even in this Kottayam case also, we had found that these criminals had extorting money from the juniors for alcohol, for buying alcohol. So every time when a ragging case is linked, there is this always the criminals are using this kind of drugs or alcohols. So this drug abuse and this alcoholism is very much linked to the ragging in all our campuses.
Right, that's an important point that you're making there, Sanjay Sahai. Drug abuse and alcohol linked to ragging, despite several awareness campaigns, and you've seen this for several years as a police officer as well. What is the sense you're getting? Are we getting worse? Is it getting more reported and more visibility? Or do you believe that there will always be this one-off case, but overall campuses have become far more aware and there are far more regulations against and protection against ragging?
I think more of it is getting reported these days because this sort of a video recording and all that was not available, say, till around 5-10 years back. What I would like to believe, and what is the reality also, that alcohol and drugs is the norm on college campuses. And the college administration, basically they allow these rogue campuses to persist and even support. If we take the instance of this particular college, I'm convinced of the fact that there will be no CCTVs there, no video footage audit, no counselors, no earlier action in any of the ragging cases because the ragging cases would remain unknown to them. If the academia does not know how to run the academic campuses, I think it's high time they hand it over to administrators and security personnel. And even if you try and find out that if there is anybody who is in charge of the security, I have been talking about this from the Arjekar case to Anna University and all sorts of cases. There is absolutely nobody who is in charge of that particular thing. There is not only that they watch whatever they watch. The most important factor is from where does this criminality come? And that criminality, I'm also supposed to believe, cannot be in your normal frame of mind. So there is good amount of alcohol and drugs which are there on the campus. So first and foremost, what does the college administration do with regards to alcohol and drugs on the campus? And it will not be a very unknown sort of fact. If anybody goes, you and me, if you go to a college campus, I think you can also buy alcohol and drugs. So it's not a very unknown thing. Does the college, it is a hostel. Does the hostel have a warden? And what is the mechanism of oversight? Can it go for 3 long months
Right.
If it has happened for 3 months with 6 students, I'm ready to believe that it is happening on a regular basis with vast majority of students, and nobody dares or nobody has the courage to go and report. And this also has been reported only in a very exceptional sort of a circumstance. I think the boy had a medical issue and he went to his parent, and from there, the whole thing has come out. Otherwise, this also would have been camouflaged. The college administration, they're allowing
Anand?
rogue campuses to get created and exist.
Okay, you're making a very, very important point. Anand Kochukudi, point Sanjay Sahai is making is that while this incident comes out, there would definitely have been indications, if it was observed closely, monitored closely, that there were a bunch of students there, substance abuse, alcohol abuse, or ones who were bullying other children, other students who are coming in. So it is really a question of constant monitoring and ensuring that this is averted rather than react to it once it has happened.
Yes, I would say that the warden and the college authorities should be, complicit in it in some way or the other. For example, the warden in the hostel had his room very close to the students who were ragged, and so badly for 3 months. How can this go on for 3 months without the warden and also the security guard whose room was also somewhere close by, without their knowledge? How can it go on? That's totally, it's impossible. And moreover, I would say that in Kerala, this is a systemic challenge because this has been going on for quite some time, and these things are reported from one city or the other. Even in Kottayam, I remember when I was in college some 20 years ago, a similar thing was reported. I was not studying in Kottayam, but it's very clear. I can clearly remember that this was going on in a nursing college once again. And I think that these students who are caught, they get arrested, but then they get back to academics, they complete the course, and nobody gets their careers ruined. I think these students should be made, maybe rusticated, maybe their academic careers should be ruined so that they should be made a model case. They should be held guilty and responsible, and they should be. I think it should be made aware to the future generation that if it goes on like this, or if somebody, that their careers will be ruined. Otherwise, this keeps on going. This went on for 3 months because those students, the freshmen, they thought that this too shall pass after maybe a week, after 10 days, after a month.
Absolutely.
But it did not stop. Yeah, so this has to be stopped. This is an institutional problem in Kerala, systemic problem in Kerala. And I'm sure that the academicians, the wardens, they're all complicit in some way or the other.
Absolutely, Anand. What you're saying is that there needs to be very stern punishment. But Aruba, the other aspect of it is also to deal with children or teenagers, adolescents at that age before they get into acts of this nature. Obviously, this is building up over a period of time, and it's not suddenly that someone had the courage to perpetrate an act as enormous as what is being reported at the moment. So this is largely also to do with constant monitoring. So there has to be a two-pronged approach on campuses. Aruba.
So, we have to understand that ragging isn't just a discipline issue. It's a psychological and social problem that often stems from deep-seated insecurities, past traumas, and need for power. Simply punishing students isn't enough, like, to be honest, because I work with a lot of students who have ragged and who have gotten ragged. So true change happens when rehabilitation and re-education. It's not just about college, it's not just about education system. It's about how your parents are at home. What are they teaching you? We see that lack of empathy. There was a time when we used to say that it takes a village to raise a child. That concept is totally gone. And now children are just with parents, and fortunately, unfortunately, parents also don't have enough time to ingrain those values, empathy. Then it becomes the responsibility of teachers, But in schools and colleges, the
Absolutely,
number of...
there are multiple psychological, attitudinal issues. Sanjay Sahai, very quickly, how do we balance the two sides? It requires enormous investment, as you're saying, in terms of monitoring campuses, not just from the law and order point of view, but more from the psychological aspect and keeping the psychological well-being of students and detecting some of these things a lot earlier.
First is the complete lack of accountability, responsibility, and ownership by the college management. So that is from where the whole thing starts. And we are talking about empathy and family values. Then let us take it back to the Gurukul days, where the principal or the teacher, he thought that the student is his ward. And to make him into a full bloom, right personality is his job. So first and foremost is owning up that the college is yours and you're responsible for every single child. Second is there should be mechanisms. Primarily, it has to be somewhere the child or the student has faith. That is your counselors. That is also not happening. The third point is the investment of various types in technology and also in human resource. I don't think any of our teachers are even bothered about what the students are doing.
Right.
If the warden is also located in the same building or in the same block, and students are doing what they are doing, I think it is very difficult to accept this fact, and they are accepting this fact.
Always,
I remember in college, I was in St.
right.
Stephen's
As
College.
always, you're
If
making
10
a
o'clock
very,
we
very
did not
strong
come back.
point,
Next day
Sanjay
we
Sahai,
did
but absolutely, Sanjay Sahai, as always, you're making a very strong point. These are extremely important issues that need to be addressed both sensitively. Obviously, from Kerala, we've got two cases. Is that a case of increased reporting, or are campuses in certain parts less safer than others? So we'll have to keep that conversation going on. But thanks to all four of you for joining me on the show this evening. We'll keep our focus on these cases and on student welfare overall. But from that terrible student life reality to the political realities of Tamil Nadu, is AIDMK chief and former Chief Minister Edappadi Pazhanisaami facing a threat to his leadership? Well, in the midst of dissent from some of the senior leaders in his party, the Madras High Court ordered today lifting a stay on the Election Commission of India's proceedings on the tussle for the two-leaf symbol. The AIDMK's most powerful electoral weapon comes as a setback for EPS. Different factions of the party, which fought a battle for power after the demise of J. Jayalalitha in 2016, had approached the ECI for the symbol. It's currently EPS who leads the AIDMK, which holds the two-leaf symbol, but the party has lost 3 successive elections under his leadership. So is there a threat to his leadership as we run up to 2026? Does the order today make him more vulnerable? Joining me this evening, senior journalist R. Rangaraj and NDTV's Sam Daniel. Ranga, first to you. As far as EPS's position at the top, at the helm of AIDMK is concerned, there seems to be some challenge coming from those within the party itself. Remember, there are factions outside. Will he be forced to have some kind of rapprochement with, let's say, an OPS? What do you see?
Yeah, there's a tussle that's going on one within the ADMK. Some of them don't approve of the hard line of EPS against the BJP. Similarly, there's a group within the BJP which feels that they should try to work with the ADMK and renew their alliance. So there's pressure from two sides. But the problem for Edappadi Pazhanisaami is he has taken a tough stance, saying there will be no truck with the BJP, at least for 2026 and thereafter. So the BJP is looking for other options in Tamil Nadu. One possibility is the ADMK could crack, and already there are 2 or 3 factions, one led by O. Panneerselvam, which is outside the party. TTV Dinakaran Sasikal's nephew, he has formed his own party. So the BJP has strong relations with these groups or factions of the ADMK. There's a feeling that some more in the ADMK could come out, and then there'll be more pressure on Edappadi Pazhanisaami either to going for an alliance with the BJP, or even if he goes and has his own front, the ADMK could be weakened, one, by a possible loss of the two-leaf symbol, and second, desertion of some senior leaders and joining hands with the pro-BJP group. So there could be one option that Edappadi Pazhanisaami could come under pressure through the Election Commission and through the courts, where he may have to rethink his strategy and think of going with the BJP. Or there could be another ADMK coming up, which may align with the BJP and its allies in Tamil Nadu. So the coming days are going to be very eventful. We have seen in the past, in 2017, it was the BJP which influenced the ADMK then to dismiss Shashikala, Dinakaran and others from the party. And later again it was on the BJP's pressure that leaders like OPS and a handful of his supporters were taken back in the party, and OPS was made Deputy Chief Minister and #1 in the party. But that truce didn't last long. So the party is...
That could be very interesting to watch out. You're right. You're right. There are multiple factors at play here. Sam Daniel, multiple factors at play here. One of the key aspects that is being focused on is whether the AIADMK will be able to form a cohesive, all-inclusive alliance against the DMK, without which the opposition to the DMK votes could get splintered. Do you believe that EPS is also under pressure to sort of give up on that hold that he had over the party, having lost 3 successive elections, and that's where the real tussle is?
That's right, Virirado. In terms of his track record, although he had a successful 4-year tenure as Chief Minister after Jayalalitha died, in terms of steering the party to victory, in that he has miserably failed. 3 elections have been lost, the 2 Lok Sabha elections and 1 assembly election, and now EPS is all the more under pressure. At least earlier, there was a sense that the alliance of the AIADMK with the BJP costed very dearly because, in a sense, BJP is being seen as untouchable in Tamil Nadu, and the ruling DMK had capitalized on that. And now the AIADMK has snapped ties. But what kind of an alliance he'll be able to cobble up, that's something we'll have to wait and watch, because at the moment, the AIADMK alliance is quite strong. They've had this alliance has worked for 3 elections, and in that sense, they're quite optimistic of getting a second term. But also the other factor would be the Vijay factor, whether they would want to ally with AIADMK. In that case, it will be a huge, remarkable turnaround for AIADMK with their vote base and Vijay's popularity. That could be a big thing for the AIADMK. But will Vijay agree to be a junior partner in that alliance? That's something we'll have to wait and watch. But all this would hinge on how this turns out legally, both at the election commission level and at the courts.
Right. Right, you're right. Both at that level, that's another battle that's playing out. Ranga, very quickly, I have just the last minute left. What would you see are the key indicators? Because the time is running up to 2026. It's either a question of an alliance with the TVK or an alliance with the BJP. Do you see all 3 sides possibly coming together? Is that politically possible given the stand that each one has taken individually in that state?
Yes, TVK is clearly going for the moon. So they want nothing else but chief ministership for Vijay. So that will come in the way of an alliance with some of the parties. The ADMK is not willing to give up its chief ministership claim. The party is sticking to that. Seeman and some other parties also, they are not willing for a compromise. So there's very little room for maneuvering here when each party is pinning its hopes on becoming chief minister. So alliance there could be difficult with the party. But the problem for ADMK now is the new
alliance could
come from K. Sinkotin and the senior leader.
Right, alliance could be difficult. You say, I'm sorry, Ranga. I know there is much that needs to be said, but I'm completely out of time on it. Some would say that the DMK's position in Tamil Nadu is very similar to the BJP's dominance in India, with opposition parties fragmented. One will wait and watch how that plays out. But thanks to the 2 of you for joining me this evening. That's all we have time for on the Southern View this evening. News and updates continue right here on NDTV.
Sitting quietly while your car is made all shiny. Downtime can be just fine too. Ready meal is piping. Waterproof on the loo. Just enjoy your back tattoo. Tea break, face break, maybe even watch the ad break. Sometimes it's not time for some tombola, right? It's enjoying lasagna time, chilling with a book time, or time to visit your nan time. Put the phone down.
At Cheerios, we know mornings can be challenging. So having a delicious breakfast that's high in fibre from oats, wheat and barley That's a little win. Cheerios. Little O's make little wins.
With retirement round the corner, I want to spend more time with my family and less time worrying about the numbers. Which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
And that money could help with funeral costs or even as a gift for the grandkids. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
You got them all right. That's amazing.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team on 0800 977 5808 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Health isn't someday in the future, it's now. It's same-day GP appointments, physio without GP referrals, cancer testing, scans and diagnosis fast. Questions for an expert at any hour about anything. Routine dental checkups every year for brighter smiles. Support that lasts for as long as it takes. Feeling your best every day starts today. Call or go online now for your quote.
Play the Great Big Lottery and you can help make more wins happen at Great Ormond Street Hospital. Like bringing fun to Rajveer's ward, discovering new treatments and helping children go home sooner. Just call 0800 472 5774 or search Gosh Lottery to start playing for just £1. There's up to £10,000 up for grabs in our annual Super Draw, plus a £1,000 jackpot every week. And many more great cash prizes. So call or go online now for a chance to win big prizes and make more wins happen.
I'll fix him, love. Poor pet. Just shows you never know what's going to happen. Which reminds me, I need to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm looking into Smart Family Life Insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please. OK. You can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000, depending on your age. If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And it could help my husband with the mortgage.
Just like families, not all life insurance is the same. That's why we offer the Smart Family Guarantee.
That's good to know.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cash back on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you'll also get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Now we move on to the next category, which is the Youth Icon of the Year. And for this, मैं एक बार फिर से request करूँगी आशा पारेख जी का स्टेज पर आने के लिए और साथ ही invite करेंगे मयंक अग्रवाल जी को, CEO Gallant Group of Industries, to join us on stage for this next category of awards.
Ananya Pandey.
Congratulations, Ananya. And Ananya Pandey, actor, is getting this award for her advocacy work on combating cyberbullying, growing achievements in the film industry, and strong influence on social media. And that's what makes Ananya Pandey NDTV Youth Icon of the Year 2024. She represents a blend of modern values, relatability, and a commitment to meaningful causes, which are essential qualities for inspiring today's youth.
Congratulations, very many
Thank
congratulations.
You. Thank
and
you.
Ananya, there are just a few questions for
Yes.
you. You've, diverse characters, and you've made a shift from big screen to OTT. Big superstars have done their shift. What is your opinion on that, and what's your next move?
Firstly, I just want to thank NDTV for this award. It's truly very, very humbling, and to get it from Asha Parekh ji, I'm such a big fan of your work, so this is a pinch me moment for sure. I don't believe any screen is too big or small. It's a screen at the end of the day, and the world is developing so fast. There's so many changes that are being made, so I think we're all just keeping up with the times.
Ananya, the fact is that 2024, this year has been phenomenal for you. One success after another. Kahan Kho Gaye Hum, Call Me Bae, CTRL. How does it feel to have multiple successes in one single year?
It's really a dream come true. I really think this year for me, more than ever, I felt very connected to my fans with
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Gargi Rao. Today on the show, there was a big announcement by the Andhra Chief Minister. Chandrababu Naidu has said that the state government is planning to promote work from home in a big way, especially for women. In a post, he wrote, the work landscape underwent a shift during the COVID pandemic and with it gained a prominence. Concepts such as remote work, co-working spaces and neighborhood workspaces can empower businesses and employees. So with IT office spaces planned in every city, town and mandal, Andhra Pradesh is creating flexible, inclusive work environments. The Chief Minister also added that such initiatives could help to strike a better work-life balance as well. So it's an interesting move by the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister at a time when there have been debates and comments made on having a 70-hour work week or a 90-hour work week as well. So these are being promoted by some business leaders and sparking debates. So at a time like that, to have Chandrababu Naidu talking about pushing work from home for women. Today on the show, Andhra's work from home push, Naidu's game changer for women. That is what we are discussing. Joining us on the program to talk more about this, Diana Emmanuel, Senior Director in IT company Experia, Ayush Nambiar, MD Nambiar Group, and Mamta Mahapatra, Professor HR and OB IMI Delhi, joining us from Delhi. Thank you so much all for joining us. And first you, Diana Emmanuel, your comments on this move by Chandrababu Naidu.
So I think on this specific occasion of Women for STEM specifically, International Day on that, it is a very positive move. And when we see there are enough women who have not come out to the workforce, they are staying at home mostly, and they are not coming out to the workforce because they don't have working facility available nearby. So when you think like that, this move is certainly a very positive move for women. And I'm sure with providing the proper training and we can get much more people to the workforce. And that is the main key theme around this announcement which has been made.
The government will work actively to have more companies opening up, and the IT companies opening up, as he said, in every town, village, in panchayats as well. Ayush Nambiar, your comments on this move by the Chief Minister, and as was just mentioned by Diana Emmanuel, this is a move that will hopefully get more women to come out and work, and also women who after having children actually leave the workforce. So hopefully it will help in that as well.
So I am actually, usually never in support of work from home. But this particular move by the Chief Minister is, I think, something which is commendable. I think it is one step closer to this inclusive thought process, inclusive workspace. And I really wish something like this can be even taken on a national level by the government, with whether it's the HRD ministry or it's any of your typical corporates. I think even corporates nowadays, because corporates have led this move, led this change over the past few years. During COVID, of course, it was something that we necessarily needed. But right after COVID, I think it was corporates who continued it, sustained it, and have been able to actually get good work out of the work, your of hybrid work or online workspaces. I think that move itself from the corporate level has been successful, which initially I was not too confident of. But with this,
That's an
move, I
honest
think
admission there. Yes.
Yeah.
And it comes at a time when a lot of companies have had problems, moving people back from that work from home culture back to home. Internationally also, we've heard of examples. Diana Emanuel also, not just to have, allow women to work from home, but the Chief Minister talking about having IT spaces, planning them in every city, town and mandal. That too is a, great thing to hear that, to have, so people don't have to migrate from villages or towns to the cities. Let's bring those corporate offices to them.
Right. So when I see all this, go ahead, Ayush.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so when I see all this move, it is again, I totally agree with Ayush when we say that I'm not a big proponent of work from home, because work happens in office and the, what do you say, the energy which propagates, even the learning which propagates in a complete office environment is very different. But to get more people into the workforce, there are people who are not entering into the workforce due to these limitations. For them, these policies, and there's always jobs which can be brought closer to home, kind of. So those jobs, we get more talent coming in there, and that's where I feel, be it the mandals, the mandabs, every panchayat having some workspace is good enough. India has gone digital, and every village is connected now. People are much more digitally aware, and
right. We also have Mamta Mahapatra, Professor HR, joining us to talk about this move by the Andhra Chief Minister. Ma'am, your comments on this move, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister's push for work from home for women and saying that we will, have IT offices everywhere and this will help the work-life balance.
Completely agree with my co-panelists. I think India is on the move and it's a very welcome move by the Andhra Chief Minister. I think provided we provide women with the necessary infrastructure and facilities by way of which they can, work from home, we need to give a huge push to women entrepreneurs. I think India needs this kind of a move, and working from home enables the women to take care of their family responsibilities and, caregiving responsibilities, many roles that they play. So it's a very welcome move, I would say.
Right. Honest admissions by both Diana and Ayush regarding, not being too much in favor of work from home. Of course, the reason why the Chief Minister is saying it is different. He wants women to come out, work. He's recently also spoken about his concerns about the falling birth rate in Andhra Pradesh. So perhaps this is also a way to encourage women to work at the same time and not compromise on family planning. But let's talk about the larger corporate culture, because it's interesting that this statement has come at a time when also in the news is the statement by the L&T chairman, Mr. Subramanian, who, he was talking and he was talking about, work culture these days. And he says earlier, if I was told to go from Chennai to Delhi to work, I'd just go. But now when you ask somebody, they're like, bye. And if you ask them that no more work from home, come to office, he says they're like, bye. So, he was making another point about his perhaps frustration with the work culture these days. Your comments, Ayush?
So I stand by my original thought on L&T chairman's views. I absolutely agree with him. Of course, I'm assuming that when he made that statement, it was half humor, half to create humor.
Yes, I think that gets lost when we quote them. But yes, you're absolutely right.
But in the same breath, I completely support L&T chairman as well on that particular subject, because I am somebody who does not believe in the typical work-life balance. I say work till you can and then achieve balance in life. Right. I see a lot of young, people. I see a lot of young executives of the company with very basic salaries and saying, yeah, I have worked for 9 hours. I want to go back home, rest now. I have never seen such people grow from, by working 8 to 9 hours. I have seen people who are aspirational work for 12 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours. I here work 18 hours a day.
But you're the
Because I'm
promoter. You're the MD of the company, so it's different for you, isn't
I
it?
think, but here's the thing, right? India is in a stage right now where we need more people, young people, to work harder, essentially become, MDs, joint MDs, or CEOs, CXOs. You see the likes of, any top executive of this country. Sundar Pichai, for example, is Google CEO. The gentleman, even today, I know him. So 18, 19 hours is nothing for him, and he has done that for the past years. So to achieve that, you need to do that.
Yeah, for a
Will
short
that
period. It's not sustainable for a long, period. Then you'll have burnout as well. Diana Emanuel, your comments on this and what Mr. Subramaniam said about, the kind of ethics or the kind of issues he faces with trying to get more work out of the, young employees.
So I won't go to his quote. I will respect him for whatever he has quoted. On my views on the same thing, when I say, how to relate to Gen Z is very different. So how to, if they are passionate, I've seen their work. And that is what I have seen in my work experience. They put in their hours, they're allowed to put in hours, and they're allowed to be mentored and grow in their career. So I would say bring in a culture of passion, and it kind of becomes contagious then. And they work not because somebody is telling them to work 9 hours, 18 hours. They work because they love their work. And that's what we have to make our young engineers feel about work. They should love their work, and they should work for building, as Ayush totally said, we have to build the next India. And in the next India, it's not about complacence. We have to have passionate people, and passionate leaders and passionate people, both of them.
All right. Well, we moved away a little bit from the push that, the Andhra Chief Minister is making, and this proposal to have more women come into the workforce, hopefully get more women out there working. Out there, I mean, from their homes working, and, hopefully contribute. Final word to you, Professor Mahapatra, if you can, talk about what we were discussing about Gen Z or the employees, dealing with young employees, but also this very positive push by the Andhra Chief Minister to have more women come into the workforce by allowing them this flexibility.
Absolutely. So I think to sum up, it's a very nice move, I would say, and dealing with my students who belong to Gen Z, I would, the work culture that Gen Z prefers is, an enabling environment. And if you give them the right kind of infrastructure, they do not mind working long hours. Coming back to how women should be given this push, I think we have many organizations today who are encouraging more women in the workforce at the blue collar level also. So I think what Andhra Chief Minister is trying to do is not only include women in corporates and, the business entrepreneurial sector, but also at the grassroots level. So if it can enable people at the grassroots level, it's a very welcome move, I would say.
All right. Ayush, I saw you raising your hand. Any last comments?
I think just one small thing. I think this is a very good push to empower more women. But essentially, I think it will have to come back to the real way of working. This push is important for him even politically. So yes, political points for Mr. Naidu. But in the same breath, I would also come back to saying that yes, people, if they are being pushed and being given more opportunities, and the government is promoting such opportunities, great. But then those opportunities must convert. I would say that they should say out of every 100 women, 10 should essentially become entrepreneurs in 5 years or 2 years. So that is the kind of push that I would like to promote out of this culture, and the fruit that I would like to see that is born from this culture.
All right. Well, thank you so much all for joining us on the program, and a very positive effort by the Andhra Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu to have more women come out in the workforce, saying that we will allow this work from home, also to take IT companies to as he said, to the towns and mandals as well. So that will be a good move for employment in the future. Thank you so much all for joining us on the program. Well, moving on to some other news now, and there's no end to the controversy over the crass comments made on a YouTube show revolving around famous YouTuber Beer Biceps. The Mumbai police recorded statements of the other panelists on the controversial India's Got Latent episode, but as this controversy gets bigger, there is a strong section of population calling out the overreaction by authorities on this matter.
The controversy over the crude jokes by YouTuber Ranveer Alabadia and others at the India's Got Latent show continues to rage on. The Mumbai police on Wednesday recorded the statements of the panelists on the controversial India's Got Latent episode. Apurva Makhija and Ashish Chanchalani told the police the show is not scripted. They added the judges and participants are told to speak openly and they are not paid to be part of the show. The police have expanded the scope of their investigation. They will now also record the statements of all those who have featured on show as judges in previous episodes.
हमारे मुख्यमंत्री महोदय जी ने ऑलरेडी उसके ऊपर एक्शन लेने के लिए निर्देश दे चुके हैं और मेरे ख्याल से उनके ऊपर एफआईआर भी लॉन्च हो चुकी है.
The complainant Anil Kumar Pandey stated the jokes on marriage hurt the religious sentiments of people. He also referred to the joke on Arunachal Pradesh and mentioned how it possibly affects harmony in such places. The Maharashtra Cyber Cell has reportedly asked YouTube India to take down all the videos of India's Got Latent from their platform. The controversial episode has already been taken down. Multiple teams are at work in this case, including the Guwahati Police, Mumbai Police and Maharashtra Cyber Cell. The State Women's Commission and Child Right Protection Commission have written to the police separately to take the strictest action.
Children's mind is very impressionable minds. When such influential person makes such loose talks, maybe the children in the future might replicate what he's saying, which is condemnable, and therefore an example, a precedent must be set.
The big question in everybody's mind is, will the YouTubers be arrested?
The sections which have been put on are under the BNS 294, 296, 299. In fact, in some of them, punishment is up to 3 years, so arrest can also be done. Also, FIR has been registered under 67 of the IT Act, which very clearly says that where you obscenity which is transmitted or published, and which has happened in this case, and the punishment there is for the first time offence is 3 years. So there are chances that these YouTubers can also be arrested by the Mumbai police.
The Mumbai police and Maharashtra Cyber Cell has intensified their investigation in the case of India's Got Latent controversy. The show, which tasted unprecedented success for as long as 7 months, has now found itself in a very precarious situation with action expected against them anytime soon. But there is also one section of the population that states that it is a bit of an overreaction from the side of the authorities. With camera person Rajendra Dyalkar, this is Anuj Rai reporting for NDTV from Mumbai.
Now, a horrific case of ragging and torture from a medical college in Kerala. 5 students at Kottayam's Government Nursing College have been arrested after they allegedly abused and tortured 6 first-year students, even stripping the students naked and hanging weights from their private parts. It comes as a reminder of the difficult realities on college campuses. Uma Sudhir with the details.
5 students at Kottayam's Government Nursing College have been arrested and sent to 2 days in police custody after a shocking case of ragging was reported to the police. The third-year students are said to have subjected at least 6 first-year students to abuse, humiliation, torture and threats for nearly 3 months from November last year. The students have reported that they were stripped naked and dumbbells were hung from their private parts. Injuries were inflicted with a compass on their body and lotion was applied on it. They were reportedly videographed consuming alcohol, and that was used to threaten and blackmail them to pay for the liquor meant for seniors. It was only on Monday when one of the first-year students was unable to pay money to the seniors for liquor and was badly beaten up that he informed his parents, who advised the students to complain to the police. The college authorities were apparently unaware of the goings-on in the hostel. Less than 2 weeks ago, a mother of a teenager in Kochi had alleged that her son had jumped off the 26th floor of their building after he was subjected to inhumane bullying by his classmates. Last year, 20-year-old J.S. Siddharthan was found dead at his hostel in Wayanad's Veterinary and Animal Sciences University after being brutally beaten by his seniors for daring to dance with senior girl students on Valentine's Day. While a more stringent institutional and legal framework is needed to curb the menace of ragging and bullying, what is even more worrying is the seeming normalization of deviant behavior by youngsters, like seen in the recent case of Ranveer Allahabadia and Samay Raina. With inputs from Kerala and camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Now, in a game-changing move for global trade, the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor is set to redefine the future of connectivity. As Prime Minister Modi and President Macron today unveiled this transformative initiative, the corridor promises not just new trade routes, but a powerful shift in economic, political and cultural ties between the continents. Here's how this historic venture is reshaping geopolitics.
The India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor is a monumental initiative reshaping the landscape of global trade, ushering in an era of enhanced connectivity between India, the Middle East and Europe. PM Modi, speaking after a joint statement with France, emphasized the corridor's potential to redefine regional ties and propel economic growth. By strengthening trade routes across roadways, railways and shipping lanes, the project connects the continents, offering a robust alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative, one that promises greater security, economic integration and improved supply chains. France is eager to take the lead in this game-changing venture, with Marseille positioned as the vital European gateway. The port city isn't just a strategic trade hub, it's a symbolic one, a historic bridge between cultures. PM Modi's remarks in French media highlighted how the IMEC will foster deeper partnerships in sectors like energy, health and security, vital components of the evolving global economy. Through these corridors of commerce and cooperation, the countries involved aim to boost not only trade but also political and cultural ties. The project's reach extends beyond mere infrastructure. It's a lifeline for economic diplomacy, weaving new bonds between nations. As PM Modi later tweeted, in fact, the opening of the Indian consulate in Marseille underscores this growing relationship, harking back to the significant historical connections India shares with the city. For perspective, during the Second World War, it served as a key base for Indian troops, and it is also linked with national figures like Veer Savarkar. Indeed, this corridor is more than just road and rails. It's a pathway for nations to unite, bolster strategic interests, and create lasting peace through trade. In this interwoven web of connectivity, India's role is clear, as both a leader and a bridge between the East and West. With this initiative, we are witnessing a transformative moment in global geopolitics, one that could very well be a game changer in the coming decades. Bureau Report, NDTV.
With that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. News updates continue right here on NDTV.
Our Prime Minister, amongst the first
Rocky deserves a day off his guard duties. So we've got this.
The Simply Safe home security system.
Nice, eh?
and affordable.
We chose the sensors.
And HD cameras that work for us.
It was really easy to install. So, no need for that, Rocky.
Best thing, it doesn't cost an arm and a...
Get our Which Best Buy rated Starterpack from under £200. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Our first year as a family flew by, and now I want to make sure he'll be financially protected for all his birthdays to come. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Just like families, not all life insurance is the same. That's why we offer the Smart Family Guarantee. We guarantee a straightforward application process, award-winning service you can trust, and cover from day one. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
We all know animals have feelings. They depend on kindness, just like you and me. So imagine how they feel when they're beaten, starved, and unloved. Every minute, the RSPCA is called on to save animals in physical agony and mental torment. It's unbearable to see the pain in their eyes. We refuse to give up on them, but to rescue them from a life of fear, we urgently need animal lovers like you to donate today. Please call 0800 121 4260 or text KIND to 84903 to give £2 a month to the RSPCA. Your gift will help fund more life-saving rescues, more emergency treatment, and more gentle rehabilitation. Every month, you'll be helping to keep animals free from pain and sadness, so they can find the comfort and joy they deserve. Right now, across the country, thousands are suffering deliberate harm. But together, we can show animals what kindness feels like. Together, we can rescue them. So please, call 0800 121 4260, text KIND to 84903, or visit our website to start your monthly donation today. Thank you.
When I woke up, they said, Alyssa, you've got leukemia. We found out that the chemo wasn't working.
Cancer is still the biggest killer of children in the UK, but innovative new treatments could help beat cancer for more children like Alyssa.
I'm cancer-free now.
Text, call or search to give £3 a month and help build a new children's cancer centre at Great Ormond Street Hospital. So together, we can save more lives.
With retirement round the corner, I want to spend more time with my family, which reminds me.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free quote today, call our UK team or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Who doesn't love a good deal? Meal deals. Be rude not to deals. Seal deals? Or a bit of deal or no deal? We've got free-to-play deals with no deposit required. And up to £1,000 to be won every day. Get that good deal feeling only at Tombola. Love a good deal? Try free-to-play deal or no deal only at Tombola. There's up to £1,000 to be won. Get that good deal feeling.
Family life.